Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And welcome into another episode of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad, Bryan, to my right, your left, I'm Eli Moon, and we are here with you until about 11 o'clock or just a few minutes after, because we got fashionably late, as you know we once in a while do from time to time. We are going to have a lot to talk about. We're going to dive into the Cleveland Browns and their NFL draft process, what we feel they should and maybe shouldn't do tomorrow night, and we'll talk about all of that. Of course, later on in the show, we have some NBA playoff chatter. Detroit and Orlando playing on early today, in the early evening game, that is. And then, of course, we have Phoenix and OKC going on right now, so we'll talk about that. And then later on in the show, Chad and I go way back here on this Wednesday for Wayback Wednesday. So we got a lot to talk about, and we don't have a ton of time to talk about it all, so we're going to try to hurry up and get through it. Chad, how are you doing, my bro?
I'm doing all right, man. It's middle of the week, I guess. This week's flying by. I'm actually pretty happy. I got to mow my grass today for the first time all season. It was starting to get a little bit, starting to give me some anxiety, man. You know, you might lose a shoe walking through. The grass was getting pretty tall, man. It wouldn't stop raining, so I finally got to mow most of it. I didn't mow all of it, but yeah, that's a dad thing, man. You get that done for the first time of the year, and you're like, all right, you know what I mean?
Well, I hear that mowing the grass for you is like turning into a Disney movie. Like basically, you have like all these animals following. Is that right?
I've got frogs. I've got bees landing on the lawnmower today. Yeah, all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, I had a snake follow me around the yard. Well, you never know. You never really know. We had chickens in our yard tonight. You never know what you're gonna see.
Well, I'm glad that you
roll through.
I'm glad you survived the wildlife. I'm glad that you are the last man standing, and you know what? That you defended the Bryan household. So we like to see that. And you know what?
There's some guys. Honestly, I don't think most of it's very dangerous, to be perfectly honest. I think I'm pretty safe out there. I think I'm all right.
But, all right, fair. Yeah. But you did defend the Bryan household, just like some guys that may defend the Cleveland Browns offensive line. Shall they go that way at number 6 or whatever first round pick they do have, with talks of maybe a potential trade back?
Yeah.
Chad, it leads me to the question here tonight that will start off. And I know you've been trying to avoid it, but guess what? The draft is tomorrow.
It is.
With the Commissioner's Couch. Again, coverage starts at 7:45 p.m. with the Commissioner's Couch. Chad Bryan, executive producing that, but that will be with Ryan Mosser and David Calhoun. They'll be going over every single draft pick in the first round. And then, of course, after that, a special Midnight Run episode to air after. Chad Bryan, AA Anthony Alford, and TK Dandridge. That'll be on right after, going over Cavs postgame. And it's a Midnight Run unhinged behavior from those three. So, Chad, I can't wait to see all that. But
looking forward to
my
that.
Question tonight, yes, sir. My question tonight to you, however, is you can't avoid it anymore. What is the best and worst case scenario for the Browns during tomorrow night's NFL draft? Is it maybe they just don't make a pick? Maybe they just trade out? I mean, what is it, pal?
I just trade the whole draft for Ricky Williams. No, nobody would ever do that, right? And then go on the cover of Sports Illustrated getting married to Ricky. That would never happen. That would never happen. That would be weird. So, that probably wouldn't happen, right? Probably wouldn't. Anyway, you want the bad news or the good news first? Which one do you want first?
I think we'll start with the bad news.
Let's go worst case scenario first then. I think worst case scenario would be, I don't know what, trading back out of that 6th spot, getting something further back than 12, because we all assume trading back from 6 means you're going to 12 and you're getting 20, right? You have 12, 20, and 24.
Yeah.
Somehow giving up 6 and 39 for only 20 or something, right? Like a really weird trade where it's like, okay, well, I mean, we traded back to stack assets, but we lost assets in the trade. Like, how did we, you know what I mean? And we lost our ability to get it. Like, what did we do? Like, now we can't get a front line wide receiver. May not get the best left tackle in the draft. or even one of the top two at that point. So what did we do, right? So we have, what would we have then, 20 and 24, and then to take like a nickel corner at 20, and then I don't know a kick returner at 24 or something. But listen,
That
I mean
sounds terrible, pal.
that's
That's not. That's like that might be like the worst. They'd fire the entire staff after that.
you would think. But they've
Yeah.
done comparable things, and most of the staff remains. So here we are, or at least they remained. I mean, I know the coaching staff is gone now. Di Podesta is out of there, whatever. So now we're drafting with, I don't know what we're drafting with anymore. We're not using I mean, we're still analytics, but just maybe a different. I don't know how. Before
Ivy League savvy. Ivy League savvy is what they're drafting with. Andrew Berry, he's an Ivy League graduate, so they're drafting with Ivy League savvy, pal.
Cool. The Ivy League has never worked out here in the front office. We've had this before. We've had Ivy League front offices before. Really smart guys, and it has not worked out. We have not ended up with great football players with Ivy League savvy. Now, Andrew Berry's made a couple of good picks. I mean, you can't avoid that. But I think as often as they've, they gave up a first-round pick for, I don't know, what felt like 14 seasons for quite possibly the third-string quarterback on the roster. Although some people think, that in the voluntary minicamp, whatever, that he looked good enough that he could be the starter. I mean, I could probably go out there and look like the starter in voluntary minicamp. Like, it's not, there's no defense, there's no pads. I mean, all it is literally just like some footwork drills, and you're throwing the ball 10 yards. I can still throw a ball 10 yards, right? Yeah. That's about it. I mean, that's the extent of my ability, but I could do that. There are some things like you watch sports and you go, I'm not going to be the guy that sit here and goes, I could do that. But literally, I could do that. I could drop back and throw a pass 10 yards. That's fine. To a guy who's not moving, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard to really tell anything from that. But I don't know. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. Do you want to do your worst case scenario? Or do you want to...
Okay. I'll do my worst case scenario, which I think would be going defense at number 6 overall. I don't think trading back is necessarily the worst case scenario, depending on what's available and who's available on the board. If Jordan Tyson is available there, if you go back to 12 and you get him there, I don't think it's the worst case scenario to trade back necessarily, Chad, but I do think the worst case scenario is going and grabbing Caleb Downs, or if Sonny Styles slips, or one of those guys. I think as great as they are going to be in the NFL, the Browns already have a pretty solid defense, a top 10 NFL defense, if not top 5 NFL defense. I don't think they need to address that right now. I think they need to go out and, well, I'll wait for best case scenario, but I think they need to stay away from drafting defense no matter how great the talent is.
Yeah.
I think at that point you do look to trade back. If you're like, okay, the board isn't shaking out exactly how we want it to, but there are some guys on defense that are here that other guys will want, other teams will want, then you move back. But that's my worst case scenario is you go defense, you draft Caleb Downs. If Sonny Styles is there, you draft Sonny Styles. That would be my worst case scenario.
So for you to trade that back, I mean, like, who would have to be off the board? Carnell Tate would have to be gone. Who else would be someone that you wouldn't take at 6 that would go, okay, I'll take this guy for the offense at 6, rather than, like you said, stacking defense or whatever, or just trading back? Like, who would have to be gone?
I'd only be comfortable enough trading back to 12 if the Browns felt Jordan Tyson would be there. If Jordan Tyson would be there at 12, okay, then go back to 12, get him, then get a few linemen or whatever you want to do with 20 and 24, address the offensive line, address something else, a position of need. But that's the only way I do it. And if you feel that confident in Jordan Tyson, if you feel Jordan Tyson is that guy, if you're the Cleveland Browns and you feel he's the alpha, he's a wide receiver one that can really shape up and improve your wide receiver room, then you draft him at 6. But I think the Browns are going to try to get more value. Think they can get him at 12. Maybe they do. And then they go get linemen and maybe 2 of them with 20 and 24 if they do trade back with Dallas. But really, for them to trade back, Carnell Tate couldn't be on the board. Like, if Carnell Tate wasn't on the board, that would be. So I guess I'll segue into my best case scenario. Best case scenario is Carnell Tate is on the board at number 6 overall. You draft him if you're the Cleveland Browns, and you get your wide receiver 1. As much as I like Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate is the best wide receiver prospect in this draft class, and I feel like he has the the highest floor, maybe not the highest ceiling. I think that's where Jordan Tyson may have him beat. Me and Cliche have actually talked about that, where Jordan Tyson may have a higher ceiling, but the floor, you're going to get Carnell Tate as at bare minimum a guy who probably is going to get you 700 to 900 receiving yards. Very efficient on the field.
Yeah.
that's what I think the Browns should do is get Carnell Tate. Best case scenario, number 6 overall, Carnell Tate to the Cleveland Browns. What about you, Chad?
I think I agree with you. I love Carnell Tate. I do think he is the best. Well, like you said, the highest floor. As far as the highest ceiling, I struggle with that because that's one of those. That's one of that's the Ivy League savvy, right? You take a guy that has, well, he doesn't, he's got the highest ceiling. We can get the most out of him, but we rarely do. We just haven't seen that often a guy come to Berea and get drafted and have a ton of potential and maybe not like be the rock solid, like you said, high floor guy, and then come here and actually meet that potential. I mean, how often does that really happen? The closest that you could probably say that someone has done that through the draft, a non-quarterback, because no quarterback has ever really reached their potential here. Although Baker was getting there, right? Baker was he was the guy. Yeah. But it was starting to go really sour for a lot of different reasons. He kept getting hurt. It felt like it was going to have to come to an end. And I still am maybe this is old school thinking, but I really still think he had to grow and had to bounce around and do some of those things to grow into what he is now in Tampa. But maybe, that could just be me. Maybe he would have grown into that in Cleveland in the right, situation.
Well, I guess we'll never know. That's the big what if. One of the bigger what ifs with the Cleveland Browns over the last 10 years, I'd say, though.
Agreed. And it's gotten us to where we are today, which is another 5-12 and the 6th pick in the draft. Anyway,
and we're wondering who the quarterback is.
We still have no idea who the quarterback is. But yeah, the last person you could say, let's say an offensive player would be Josh Gordon, and he didn't quite reach his potential because of some off the field stuff that now isn't even really a big deal in the NFL. But what could have been, I guess. I mean, when you saw Josh Gordon out there when he was healthy, engaged, and eligible to play, man, he was unstoppable. So that's really the last time that you've seen the Browns take a pick, and it actually makes sense and work out. And he was like physically reached his potential, but again, didn't get there because of some other things. So, it just, I like the high floor guy, right? Maybe just a little bit of a nudge lower ceiling or whatever, but that's fine because let's bring in the guy that can come in and make a difference right away, even in kind of a, stagnant offense, which we don't know really what it's going to look like under Todd Monken. It could look totally different. They're addressing the offensive line. That was a big problem last year. We assume they'll continue to do that in the draft. So, I mean, I think you take the guy that has the higher floor for now. I know you really like Jordan, but I just like Carnell Tate for that reason. I think he's a steadier prospect. He's just got the projectables, right? You see, you said, 900 yards a season. I think he's 1,000-yard receiver, every type of year, every year type of guy. But again, it's got to be the right offense, and we struggle with that here.
Yeah. I think at bare minimum you're getting a guy that's going to be very, very efficient in your offense, and I agree with you. A guy that could eclipse 1,000 yards more than once in his career. So I think we're going to get something very good, whether it's Tate or Tyson. I would lean towards Tate, but if he's off the board and the Browns think they can get Tyson at 12 and get some value, then go for it. Okay. Just don't get it wrong. He's not there. Yeah.
Your worst case would be if they trade back and then Tyson goes at 11. Now they're stuck at 12, and they still don't like the way the board shook. Like now, what do you do? Like you just pick a guy, and then here it comes where the even worst case scenario for me.
Stop, Chad. Stop.
No, listen. They're gonna. Okay, we got to panic. We got to take a tackle. Let's take a right tackle. We can move him to the left side. We've never tried this before. You know what I mean? Like, stop, man. Are
you okay with them taking a lineman at number 6 overall?
It depends on who it is. Honestly, in my mock draft, I took Monroe Freeling, right? And then Ryan Mosser and I talked about that, how Freeling might be a little bit of a stretch at 6, not because he's not a good offensive lineman. He's just not a sure day one starter. He doesn't come in necessarily, day one and no matter what, he's the left tackle, right? Like it's still up in the air. So why would you take a guy at 6 who you don't know is going to be the day one starter when he comes in? That's a little silly, right? So that makes sense to me. So I don't know. I mean, if you see a guy and you identify a guy there, whatever, maybe one of the guys from YouTube, whatever, right? And you see him and you go, okay, that's our left tackle. That's the guy who's going to be here for 10 years. He is an NFL, all pro, 5-6 seasons, whatever. Sure. Then go get him at 6, because obviously that's going to pan out. Look at Joe Thomas, right? Joe Thomas, you can't predict that type of a career, but Joe Thomas panned out. He made you feel way better about taking a lineman in the first round. Because some people get weird when you take a lineman right away, right? It's not a big flashy playmaker. It's not a 4-3 guy. It's not a guy who can throw the ball 100 yards or whatever. But you have to have a good left tackle, right? So if you can go get the cornerstone of your offensive line at number 6, then sure, yeah, I'm fine with it. That won't bother me. What'll bother me is if I feel like they took the wrong guy. For instance, if they take a right tackle and now the public plan, well, we're gonna, the plan is to take a look at him on the left side. The footwork's not that different, because we've seen that not work before, right? I think you have to be a pretty special player to go from right tackle to left tackle, especially from college to the NFL and make that work.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that would be a bad situation for me. But yeah, Cardinal Tate at 6, give me that. Would love that. And then I don't know, 24. What else could they do at 24? Go get a decent. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a starter. Not a left tackle, not a starter. You want a starter there, but could be an interior offensive lineman, just someone who is going to get out there and be a little bit nasty in the run, right, and create some room for Quinshon Judkins so he doesn't have to have 99% of his yards come after contact when he gets the handoff. Yeah.
It's interesting you bring that up, Chad. Not to interrupt you, but
Oh, no, you're good.
Todd Monken, he's a run first kind of guy. It seems more often than not. So you bring up the interior line. The Browns do need to address more of this line. So I think they need to, whether it's that first round, that other first rounder, that 24th overall pick, whether it's a second round or whatever it is, the Browns do need to address that as well to open up the lanes for, as you mentioned, Quinshon Judkins, for those guys in the backfield. So keep an eye on all of that. The Browns draft 6th overall tomorrow. Of course, NFL draft coverage this Thursday. That's tomorrow, 7:45 p.m. here on the Inside Edge Network with the Commissioner's Couch. That's David Calhoun, Ryan Mosser, and executive producer there, Chad Bryan. He'll be doing the ones and twos. So make sure you stay locked in here on Inside Edge Net on all the socials, like and subscribe, all that great stuff. And we're going to take a quick pause here. When we take a break, you do the same. Grab some caffeine, grab some dinner, all that great stuff. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs and the Cavaliers, the Raptors, all that great stuff. And later on, we're going to go way back with Chad, Bryan, and I. We are going to go Wayback Wednesday and put a bow on this edition of Primetime. Of course, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford right after us, midnight to 1 a.m. But Chad and I, we got you covered until a little bit after 11 o'clock. So that's Chad. I'm Eli. And we're back after this.
Hey, I got something to show you guys. Take a look. It is spring. Happy spring to all of you. Take a look at what we have here for you from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Beautiful spring scent candles here for you. Hand poured with premium fragrance and essential oils. How about this? Our coconut soy wax candles bring fresh, uplifting spring scents to your home. Made with clean, natural ingredients, they're a mindful choice for sensitive spaces and those who love effortless seasonal fragrances. You got to check it out right now. There's the soft bloom and the lemon bar candles, all healthy ingredients, all from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's InsideEdge20. Get this for yourself, for your friends, family, everyone. You want a good smelling home, AlleyRoseFragrances.com will make it happen. Again, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Get the new spring candles. And when you order, if you're a first-time customer, InsideEdge20 is the promo code.
Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad, Bryan to my right, your left, I am Eli Moon, and we are back here on this Wednesday edition of Inside Edge Primetime, but it feels like a Thursday. We'll be off tomorrow. Of course, Commissioner's Couch and Chad Bryan will have you covered, on that Thursday edition of the NFL Draft. Chad, I am so excited for the NFL Draft. I'm just getting choked up on my words, pal. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's tomorrow.
Sometimes it's hard to find the words when you think about all the things the Browns could possibly do with a couple of first-round picks. Sometimes you find some other words that you can't say around your family. But yeah, it's
yeah. Sometimes you just don't say the words because the words aren't going to change anything. Well, we said a lot of words in that first segment about the Cleveland Browns. Chad and I are going to pivot here to the NBA. The Detroit Pistons defeated the Orlando Magic earlier on. A lot of stuff going on, for lack of better words, in the NBA playoffs. And, Chad, has there been anything that stood out to you in general about these NBA playoffs?
I mean, well, the Magic win in Game 1 against Detroit was not all shocking. I won't say shocking. It was surprising. It was very surprising. The fact that I think I'm looking at like some of these series right now, and I guess – I don't know, just the fact that the Lakers are up 2-0 on the Rockets surprises me a little bit. I feel like the Lakers have been kind of down and out, beat up a little bit.
Yeah.
The Rockets have just really failed to take any advantage of that, which surprises me a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess – and I'll be honest, man, I'm a little surprised the Cavs left Cleveland up 2-0 on the Raptors. I thought the Raptors might come steal one, but they didn't look good at all in the first two games. So, yeah, I think little surprises here and there for me, just but nothing crazy. I haven't really heard. I don't know the update on Victor Wembanyama, by the way, from last night.
That's the big shock.
Yeah,
that's the big shock, pal. I mean, he really, we're sending out our well wishes and for a speedy recovery for Victor Wembanyama. I mean, it was a rough, face hit the court, real tough there. I mean, they're speculating that he may be out, a game or two. We'll see, how long he's out. But I mean, that completely dictates that and changes that series for Portland, for San Antonio. Portland coming back yesterday, 106-103, having that moment where, hey, they could really win this series if he's out long term. Because, yes, they have some players, obviously, that can perform well at San Antonio. Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. I mean, they don't have any slouches. Keldon Johnson just won Sixth Man of the Year, but at the same point in time, Victor Wembanyama really changes how that team's direction is going for the playoffs and ultimately towards the championship. So that's something to keep an eye on. Like I said, Detroit today winning 98-83, punching Orlando back in the mouth. Jalen Duren really responding. He had a real quiet game one, and he's in the conversation and candidates for most improved players. So, he showed why he's in that candidacy, and really just an impressive game for the Pistons. The Suns trying to take down OKC right now. That would be very, very interesting. And OKC, they're a lot of. Here's the thing. I don't think it's so clear-cut that OKC gets back to the finals.
Okay.
I think that everybody's been talking about how, it's OKC's to win in the West. Are we forgetting that Nikola Jokic has already won an NBA championship as well? Yeah. And he brings that experience.
Yeah. I don't think the Nuggets have to be the 1 seed to be the favorite. I mean, I think I agree with that. Oklahoma City was the best team in the regular season, but, I mean, we talk about it all the time. I say it all the time. The NBA playoffs don't even come close to resembling the regular season. So, a lot of really good teams fall apart. A lot of average teams step up, man. You really don't know what you're going to see in the NBA playoffs. It's kind of like I do like it for that, but I don't think that. You're right. I don't think the Nuggets need to be the 1 or the 2 seed to be the favorites there, or to be considered a contender at all, right?
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on the Nuggets. Obviously, their battle with the Timberwolves. Yeah. Keep an eye on Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs. That obviously does change a little bit for the OKC, but I just don't think it's so clear-cut. And Phoenix, yes. Phoenix is probably a little outmatched here, but they do have Devin Booker, who's made some playoff runs, some deep playoff runs, all the way to a finals before. You have Jalen Green, who provides quality minutes for them. So, they have Dylan Brooks, who's going to be a pest on the court. So they have some guys that could make it a little interesting for OKC. And like I said, they're battling right now, 51-46 OKC right now in the first half. So keep an eye on that as we move along. We'll probably have a final before we get out here, or you'll probably hear about it on Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, which is right after us at midnight here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad, Game 3 tomorrow. We're going to have post-game TK, AA Anthony Alford on a special edition of Midnight Run, which will air after our NFL draft coverage, which starts again 7:45 p.m. How should Cavs fans feel going into Game 3 up 2-0 against Toronto, now going into Canada in Toronto against the Raptors?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to feel pretty good. I mean, the Cavs have done everything they've wanted to do, right? Defensive intensity has been there, the effort, getting back in transition, stopping the transition game for Toronto, which was very, very good, the best in the NBA in the regular season, in fact.
Yeah.
And I think that you've seen the Raptors don't really have anyone that the Cavs respect as shooters, right? They've let them, like, you can come in and take this 15, 16 footer. Like, we're not even going to, like, the Cavs, they've got to get Brandon Ingram more involved. I don't know what, like, I'm not even sure what's going on with Ingram in his mind right now, but he seems like he's psychologically just outmatched. I don't know why that is. I don't know. Maybe it's just the big guys for the Cavs kind of looming in his mind down low. I'm not really sure. But he looks completely thrown off. Maybe it's some of, it could be Emmanuel Quickley, who, by the way, has been upgraded to questionable for Game 3. So I would think you would see the Raptors at least try to put him out there. I mean, coming home down 2-0, your season's on the line, right? You got to do something. If you lose Game 3 and go down 3-0, you're in deep, deep trouble, right? If you're the Raptors. I mean, they're probably already in deep trouble, but we talked about it before. Hey,
bingo.
Inside Edge bingo. Oh, we should have Inside Edge bingo night.
We should have Inside Edge bingo.
The one that plays bingo is still up at this hour. It's not going to work, Eli.
We just thought of this. Why do we think of the best ideas while we're on air?
But that's what
Inside Edge bingo.
Yeah, we got T-shirts. We got sweet T-shirts.
I'm writing this down.
All right, that's fair. Just give us a moment. After this quick break, we're going to come back with a list of
Inside Edge bingo. All right, back to you, pal.
It'll be like daily. We'll call a number every night. Okay, anyway. Gosh, that's a good idea. What are we doing? Anyway, B4.
All right, yes.
B4 is the number. What was I talking about? Was it bingo? I don't remember anymore.
How Cavs fans should feel about.
That's right. They were going to feel good. Yeah, we're up 2-0. But Toronto is a crazy place to play. It's kind of a wonky place, right? The fans are great, man. I think Raptors fans are fantastic. That arena is loud. It's fun. it can be a tough place to play. It's not necessarily intimidating, but I guess it could be if you go down there and the Raptors jump out to a quick 14-4 lead or something. I mean, it could be an intimidating place to try to come back, but the Cavs have that firepower. And I don't necessarily think the Raptors even really have. Well, right now they don't have the scoring ability to jump out to a lead like that and maintain it against the Cavs. I mean, I think the Cavs are just too much for the Raptors, so I think you should feel pretty good.
Yeah, I think they should feel pretty good too. I've declared on Midnight Run, I've declared it that the series is over unless Toronto completely punches us in the mouth tomorrow, which I'll eat my words if they do. But like you said, Brandon Ingram looks checked out. He just can't get any baskets to fall. They're missing Emmanuel quick.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you're all good. They're missing Emmanuel quickly as well. He is really him not being on the floor has been big for Toronto, and obviously even better for the Cavaliers. And the Cavs just have too much depth, too much star power. James Harden, Donovan Mitchell playing lights out. Evan Mobley having great games so far. Jared Allen doing his thing. The depth, Max Strus, Jalen Tyson starting to come together. Sam Merrill. I mean, they have depth, and Thomas Bryan will be returning here soon. So you keep an eye on how deep this Cavs team gets. It's going to be dangerous moving forward. But this series is over. O-V-E-R. I will continue to say it. Over, Chad. It's over. And I'm ready to move on to either Detroit or Orlando. Who will it be? We don't know. Series side 1-1. Detroit, like I said, smacked Orlando right in the mouth. But we'll kind of see as we move along here throughout the week kind of how these series dictate and throughout the next few weeks here. But this series is over. Cavs fans should feel great. Absolutely great.
And on top of that, you're the only team in the Eastern Conference that's up 2-0 in the series. Every other series is 1-1, so feel pretty good.
Yes.
Right.
I'm absolutely with it. So we'll take a quick pause here. Cavaliers, Game 3 tomorrow. We'll have the coverage after our draft coverage, the NFL draft coverage. It'll be Chad Bryan, TK Andrews joining our guy, AA Anthony Alford, for a special edition of Midnight Run to cover the Cavs postgame and just unhinged behavior, talking about the sports. When we come back from break, keep an eye. You want to stay obviously locked in through the break. When we come back, I'm going to have some breakdown from Ryan Mosser. We're going to load it on in. We're going to have Ryan Mosser clip from a 5th-round breakdown that Chad and him were talking about on Sunday's sports show here on the Inside Edge Network from, I believe, a week or two ago. And I think it would be so cool to hear this for somebody that's saying, why should I tune into Inside Edge Network? Why should I choose them for draft coverage? Because you're not going to get this analysis on 5th-round draft picks anywhere else. So if you think this is cool, wait to hear the 1st-round draft pick analysis. The guys that you're like, okay, we're having a draft party for. He's going to give you all that knowledge, him and David Calhoun. So when we come back, stay tuned for that. We'll have a clip from the Sunday Sports Show from our guy, Ryan Mosser. But that's Chad Bryan to my right, your left. He does shoulder turns from time to time. He is identified as a chicken sandwich a few times on this show. He is 46 years old, and he's one of my bros. And I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. We're back with Wayback Wednesday after this.
Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit Dubby.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad, Bryan to my right, your left, I'm Eli Moon. And we're back for one more segment here on this Wednesday edition of Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. If you've been enjoying all of the coverage so far and all the coverage all week long, make sure you give us a follow, like, subscribe, all that good jazz at Inside Edge Net on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So you can stay locked on in. Thank you for choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader and your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, and everything in between. We appreciate you. And, thank you for rocking out with us, choosing us here on your Wednesday night. Hopefully you choose us your Thursday night. Chad, I promised a clip from Ryan Mosser. We heard from Mosser Moments Photography. We also are going to show you this clip here for why you should tune in and hear from the commissioner's couch all night long on the breakdown of the NFL draft first round.
Tell me about Taylor Green, man, why you took him here.
Dude, oh my God. I love Taylor Green's tape. I love it. It's so fun to watch this guy. 6'6", 227 pounds. He ran a 4.36 40 at the combine. Like that 6'6", a 4.36 40. I think he's an absolute swing for the fences, and he's the exact type of swing the Browns should be taking at this point in the draft. This is the pick where, I personally stopped thinking about floor and stopped, thinking about what's safe and started thinking about upside. And Taylor Green at 149 is the definition of a calculated bet on absolutely rare traits. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. He has the highest ceiling of any quarterback in this class, and getting that kind of potential in the 5th round, that's the type of move that, you can change the trajectory of a franchise if he hit. His combine numbers alone tell a story. 6'5", 227, 4.36 40, a 43.5-inch vertical, 11 feet, 2-inch broad jump. Not normal. That's not even quarterback athleticism. That's alien territory, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a tight end or wide receiver profile trapped inside a quarterback's body. I like him because he can do things other quarterbacks physically cannot do. He's a long strider who erases angles in the open field. He's a vertical thrower who can launch the ball 60 yards without needing perfect mechanics. He's a creator, someone who can turn broken play into a 40-yard gain with either his legs or his arm. He's tough. He's competitive. He's wired like a guy who believes he can take over a game. And sometimes he can. He's not polished. He's not consistent, but he's dangerous. And I think that's what's going to matter here in the NFL. His physical profile is absolutely unmatched for a quarterback. He's a legitimate dual threat. He, design runs, zone reads, QB keepers. He is an absolute weapon. His deep ball is an incredibly real asset. He's a creator. I think the problem with him is, accuracy is the one thing that fluctuates based on mechanics. His footwork can get sloppy.
That is courtesy of the Sunday Sports Show with Chad Bryan, Ryan Mosser, TK Andrews, Ryan Mosser, and David Calhoun with Chad Bryan producing. Tomorrow, the Commissioner's Couch. The NFL Draft coverage starts at 7:45 p.m. We've been hammering it home because it's an important day, obviously, as Browns fans and across the NFL. So make sure you choose us as your home for draft coverage. Again, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time it starts. A special Midnight Run episode with Anthony Alford, Chad Bryan, and TK Andrews to follow. It's going to be very, very exciting. Just going to be a great day. So make sure you stay tuned on here at InsideEdgeNetwork.com at InsideEdgeNet. Chad, I had a lot to talk about there. I'm going to hand the reins off to you because it's time to go way back Wednesday.
Let's do it. And first of all, I just wanted to say, you heard Ryan Moster's breakdown of a possible fifth round swing for the fences. I mean, again, in the fifth round, you're not looking to get, a day one starter. You're not even really looking to get a long term. You're just taking a flyer on a guy, right, at that point. So I think that that's why that fits so well there. And also, I thought you heard my expert breakdown when we were talking about the physical attributes, and I said, whew,
yeah.
where else are you going to get that? Right? I mean, so let's just think about it anyway. I thought that was top tier stuff. So let's go way back because it's Wayback Wednesday.
Yes.
Today was a big baseball. I had trouble picking things for today. So I went with 3 because we've been kind of sticking with 3 for Wayback Wednesday. I think 3 is a good number. It's the third day of the week. It was number 3 on our top 5 countdown of days of the week last week. I think it's good to stick with 3 for Wayback Wednesday. So that's what we'll do.
Do you think AA would approve of this though? Because AA didn't approve of your days of the week list. So do you think?
You know what? I don't care. I don't care what he approves of until I have to talk to him later, and then I'm like, yeah, of course I care what you approve of, man. I mean, yeah.
You know he's an avid watcher.
I'm good. No, yeah, as long as he's not watching, I'm good.
Oh, he's definitely watching. He's definitely watching.
Tell me that. Why? I thought he was taking. Oh, fine, whatever. I'm a chicken. Matter. You can't fire a chicken sandwich, bro. You can't do that. So anyway,
a 46-year-old chicken sandwich. All right, back to you.
Maybe you get that one out of there. That might smell a little funny. Conservatives involved with that one, but so like I said, today was a huge baseball day. Let's get into this. I'm probably going to get in trouble. Back in 1876, on this very day in 1876, I remember this well, Eli. I was watching on TV. The first official National League baseball game was played. The Boston Red Caps, those guys, they beat the Philadelphia Athletics 6-5 at the Jefferson Street grounds in Philadelphia. And I put that sign up there because I was like, the Jefferson Street grounds. That sounds like one of those cool 1800s kind of places, right? Yeah. Look at this sign. I thought this was really cool. I'm not going to read it so you can read. But yeah, early civil rights activist Octavius Catto captained the Pythians against the White Olympic Ball Club. Not so much a marketable name. In 1869, the first interracial baseball game ever. I mean, I think that's really cool. Right here, right there, not here, right there, not in my studio. That would be weird and they wouldn't have fit. But right at the Jefferson Street ballparks, I think that's amazing. It was in operation there between 1864 and 1891. It's just a very simple. It was just like a recreational park, Eli. It was just like it was an open field, and they eventually put an inner wall so they could put not even to have a home run wall, just so they could put advertisements on the wall. That's why they put the wall up. I found an amazing article about this place. You can Google it if you want. Jefferson Street ballparks. I'm sure you'll find the same article I did and same information. I went down the rabbit hole a little bit trying to prepare for the show, just reading about the Jefferson Street ballparks. I thought that was a really, really just a cool story, but different world back in 1876,
Yeah, a very different world, and I just think it's so cool to see some of these historic ballparks.
Yeah.
AA played the Jackie Robinson clip at the end of his show, one of the Midnight Run episodes not too long ago, I believe last week, and it was just very, very impactful, and just seeing some of these ballparks that just mean so much. Just very cool, very cool. What a name, just to pivot back to the original point, the 1876, the Boston Red Caps. The Red Caps and the Athletics.
Red Caps, right. I wonder what color their hats were. Yeah, you wonder. But yeah, no, I was sort of, the Wednesday, last week, the Cavs playoff preview was a lot of fun, but I was a little disappointed we didn't get to do a Wayback Wednesday on Jackie Robinson's big day, man. It was a little disappointing, but that's okay. That's okay because we still had fun. And Major League Baseball celebrates it. And I think it's pretty widely celebrated across social media. Everyone knew it was Jay. We didn't have to tell them that, right? They knew. But that would have been a pretty cool Wayback Wednesday as well. Let's go. You want to go local? Well, not local.
Let's go local.
One-time local. Back in 1959, 67 years ago, on this very day, our own. There it is, the Tito Speedo. Terry Francona. He was born on this day in 1959. There you see, he played for the Cubs and the Reds. He's obviously, won a couple of World Series with the Red Sox. And he came here and managed for a little while, and they got that close. They got really, really close. Eli in 2016 couldn't quite turn it in. And now he is in Cincinnati managing the Reds, and they're off to a pretty hot start. Their hottest start on the road since 1990 when they last won the World Series. So, Tito, born on this day in 1959 in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Yeah, it seems like this Reds team has the most momentum they've had since the Votto, Bruce era, kind of like that little run. Brandon Phillips, those guys, and then before that, the Big Red Machine. So, and the Tito Speedo is just wild in itself. But, man, you can't help but think of Terry Francona. You think of 2016, the World Series, and how close they got a few times with Terry Francona as the manager. Him really reshaping how the organization started playing baseball again. They had those down years with Manny Acta, and they were able to really reshape it after with Terry Francona. And, I mean, so we're grateful here in Cleveland for him. It's been great with Stephen Vogt after, and, but, man, do we miss Francona? Do we wish we could have a 3-time World Series champion right there by it? Yeah. By his little accolades there. I wish they could have got it done. But happy birthday, to Terry Francona. He was born in Aberdeen, South Dakota, not to be confused with Aberdeen, Washington. Isn't there an Aberdeen, Washington?
Aberdeen, Maryland, I believe it's on the East Coast. Yeah, I think.
Isn't there an Aberdeen? Hold on,
pal. Let's go not way back, but let's go around the world.
Yeah, Aberdeen, Washington. Yeah, see, so there's so many Aberdeens. Where in the world is Aberdeen?
Where in the world? It's like, where's Waldo? We can find Aberdeen every day, every week. We can find Aberdeen, a different Aberdeen on the show.
Top 5 Aberdeens.
Top 5 Aberdeens next week on Top 5 Tuesday. Don't miss that one.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, do not miss that one. This could be sad. Eli, could be a little sad, but I think most people will be okay with it. So on this very day in 1962, and you're going to see a little bit of a graphic image here.
Oh no!
Poor Mr. Met. The Mets tied an NL record by losing their 9th straight game to start the season, and that's bad. But I thought it was nice that this last one brought us full circle to today. Today, actually, April 22nd, 2026, where the Mets have it's not even May yet, and the Mets have already begun to Met. Eli, they've lost 12 straight currently. What's going on? They were 7-4, now they're 7-16. They're squarely at the bottom of the NL East. They're one of the most expensive teams in the National League in all of baseball, Eli, and they're 7-16. Poor Mr. Met. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, Chad, and we'll reflect back on it early, right now that I did pick the Yankees and Mets to be my World Series matchup, so not looking great so far for me.
Well, it's early, but yeah, they're looking
still early, but not looking great. And I thought the Bo Bichette, addition would be great. He hasn't really worked out too well there in New York. I mean, it's not been great. They've been hating on Francisco Lindor. Look, if they don't like Lindor, we'll take him back. Take him back.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to pay him, so he's not going to come back. But we take him back. Yeah, I just not great for the Mets. Not great for Mr. Met. Not great for Francisco Lindor. Not great for Bo Bichette. Not great for anybody unless you're a Braves fan. I wonder who. Are you a Braves fan?
I don't know how this slide got into Wayback Wednesday, to be honest with you. I don't know how it made it in here, but it just happened to. It's just here, so I thought I'd. It's odd how the Mets go from Wayback Wednesday to way back in the NL East today.
Dude,
amazing.
Dude, how crazy! What another great Wayback Wednesday, pal. You did a great job going way back and bringing it to the folks. You do a great job every Wednesday bringing it to the fine folks of our primetime audience, our Inside Edge Network audience. So thank you, Chad Bryan, for doing
I appreciate it. All those come from onthisday.com, by the way. I use the website onthisday.com to find all that information, which I think is really cool. They have everything kind of, and all stuff all the way back to like 200, right? AD. Like you can find crazy history on the website. It's really cool. And again, I fell down the rabbit hole, reading about the field in Philadelphia. So, yeah, I don't know. I just started looking up some baseball history, and I was like, "Oh, we have a show. I gotta go to the studio and do things. I have to actually do some work in Photoshop, and I gotta move." So, I fell down the rabbit hole for a little bit, but I'm back. I'm out of it now. I'm all good.
Well, I'm glad you showed up to work today and on time. With that being said, so we appreciate you very much.
Not bad, right?
Yes, sir. Hey, how about this? Let's go to some final thoughts here on this Wednesday or Thursday. Like I said, we won't be with you tomorrow with draft coverage and Midnight Run special edition. Tomorrow we'll have you covered here for your evening prime or network coverage. Your Inside Edge network coverage won't be prime time. So this is our Thursday. This is the last time you hear from us this week, Chad and I, in terms of us being on the same airwaves for the week.
Maybe that's why it feels like a Thursday to me. Maybe that's
yeah, absolutely. Chad, do you want to give your final thoughts first, or do you want me to go, pal?
No, you go first.
All right, perfect. I will go first.
I got nothing.
All right, awesome. I love to hear that. My final thoughts are two things. One, draft Carnell Tate if he's there at number 6. Please don't make it any more complicated than you have to, Cleveland. Please. Andrew Berry, just draft Carnell Tate. Give Shedeur Sanders a guy that he can throw the ball to, that he can count on. Give Todd Monken somebody that he can continue to shape this offense, this young offense around, and be on the same timetable and time frame as Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fannin, Shedeur Sanders, those guys.
Yeah.
Please, you can still get a lineman. It is a deep lineman class. Please get that alpha wide receiver one. If it's Carnell Tate at 6, or if he's not there, trade back. If you feel you can get Jordan Tyson, if you're going to take the risk, it better just pay off. It better pay off, and he better be there, or there's going to be a lot of upset people. And my other thought is this: the Cavaliers play tomorrow. The series is over, so just watch and see how Kenny Atkinson gets creative with these lineups. You might see a few different lineups, how the way they play, and I think that'll be the biggest thing to pay attention to. I think Cavs win again by 10. I won't be on the airways tomorrow, so I'll say it right now. Cavs win again by 10 or more against Toronto, in Toronto, and I think it's going to be close to a sweep. Maybe Toronto wins game 4, and it's a gentleman's sweep, but we'll see. It all depends how they look tomorrow. I think they beat them by 10 or more.
Yeah, okay. All right. What are my final thoughts? I don't know. I watch the draft tomorrow and obviously watch along, with us. Our coverage is going to be amazing with Bryan and David. They're going to do a great job. They absolutely killed it on the commissioner's couch. I mean, they know their stuff. They know football in and out. I mean, Ryan Moster's he's developed the algorithm. He's going over all the prospects. It's amazing. It's going to be really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to being a part of that, just like helping them to just, kind of be behind the scenes and just being a part of it's going to be a lot of fun to watch them go. Right.
Yep.
So definitely tune in, but just be patient a little bit with the Browns. But they're going to do something that's going to surprise us tomorrow. They're going to do something that's going to make us mad. But here's again, we'll get back to the best case scenario. Maybe not. Maybe we can be positive. Maybe we can be a little bit optimistic and say that maybe they've decided to give Todd Monken because he's a little bit, more experienced in the NFL, not necessarily as a head coach, but he's been around, right? He's run some pretty successful offenses. Maybe they're going to give him some creative input. Maybe they've gone to Todd Monken and said, hey, if we were going to build a perfect offense in the 2026 draft with the players that you see available here on this big board that we have, courtesy of Ryan Moster, because that's where probably they get their information too.
Yep.
Who would it be? Like, who is it? Is it Kenyon Sadiq? Is it Carnell Tate? Is it Ty Simpson? No, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to. But I mean, if they give Todd Monken some kind of input, please let him make the right decision, because at the end of the day, it's Vontae Mack no matter what, right?
Chad, you're something else, pal. You're something else. That's going to do it for us here on Inside Edge Primetime. Make sure you watch the Commissioner's Couch here on the network at Inside Edge Net. That's David Calhoun, Ryan Mosser, and Chad Bryan executive producing. Again, Midnight Run to follow right after that with Chad TK joining Anthony Alford. So that'll be it for me until Sunday or Saturday, produced in Real Talk with Pop Moon, but then in front of the camera Sunday with main event with Robert Zicki, Anthony Alford. So we're going to say farewell for this primetime week. That's another week of primetime. We'll be back with you Monday for primetime, 10 to 11 p.m. Midnight Run to follow tonight with Anthony Alford. You'll see me producing that show. I'll chime in from time to time. But that's Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I'm Eli Moon. This has been Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. And we will talk to you very, very soon. Chad tomorrow, me, in the very, very soon future. Talk to you then.